Hello, I'm Placido Santos, and this is my video college essay about my home, Puerto Rico. Puerto Rico is an island located 1,019 miles southeast of Florida in the Caribbean. Here's a closer look. If you look closely at this picture, you can see a red star. That star is the town of Canóvanas, which is located in the northeast of Puerto Rico. Canóvanas is where I was raised. Almost all my family and many of my friends live in the town of Canóvanas. Canóvanas is truly a place I love and enjoy being in. My first breaths, however, did not occur in Puerto Rico. I was born on November 24th, 1992 in Worcester, Massachusetts, to an American mother and a Puerto Rican father. Shortly after birth, 2 weeks to be exact, my mother and father decided to move back to Puerto Rico due to my dad's fondness with the island, and I don't blame him. Who wouldn't want to live there? It's awesome. I lived in Puerto Rico until I was 14 years old. I had to move back to the States due to my parents' divorce, but I thank God for every second He allowed me to be on the island. Puerto Rico is a beautiful island with tons of natural beauty. As you can see from these pictures, it's got everything from beaches to rainforests. In this particular picture, you can see an old 16th century Spanish fort located in the Bay of Old San Juan. This fort is formerly known as Castillo San Felipe del Morro, but everyone just calls it El Morro. El Morro was built by Spanish conquistadors to protect the San Juan Bay from any foreign country who would want to take the island from the Spanish. Although Spain does not still own Puerto Rico today, El Morro still stands. It makes a great attraction for both locals and tourists. I remember when I used to visit El Morro all the time. I used to enjoy flying kites there as a kid. It's the perfect place for it, due to the great amount of wind that is at the Morro. Since it's right on the coast, it has a ton of wind. Another beauty from Puerto Rico that I'd like to introduce to you is family. Let's meet them. This is my mom, Sally Brogy. I love Mom a lot and couldn't imagine what I'd do without her. She helps me a ton in everything from day-to-day life. She's the best. Wouldn't trade her for anything. In this picture you can see my dad in the pink shirt, Placido Santos. Same name as me. I love my dad just as much as my mom. He taught me great work ethic by always making me do tons of things, from cutting sugarcane to cultivating bananas from the plantain farm. I used to hate to do these things because it was hard work. But looking back now, I'm glad he made me do it because it's taught me how to work hard for my goals today. In this picture you can see my grandfather also, Placido Santos, behind my dad. He lived to be 103. Hopefully I can last that long. I guess only time will tell. Also in this picture is of course me. I'm the baby in the picture. In this picture you can see my two siblings, Amaryllis and Richard. Ami, which is what we call Amaryllis, loves to take pictures and play sports. Rich is what we call Richard. Richard's very smart and loves to play basketball. Although they can be annoying sometimes, I thank God for my siblings. Now the reason I labeled the water tank in the back of this picture is to point out the water problems we used to face in Puerto Rico. Unlike here in the US, the tap water in Puerto Rico was inadequate and inconsistent. Sometimes we wouldn't get water for months at a time, and that's the reason why we would have to fill these huge water tanks with water in order to have some in case the water left. If the water ever ran out, you would be in big trouble because then you would have no running water. Thankfully, our next door neighbor had a brook that ran through his property. When we would run out of water, he would let us take water from his brook. Despite this huge inconvenience, in addition to others you would never have here in the US, my neighborhood was a happy neighborhood. No one complained. Everyone just dealt with it and helped each other out. This shows how many of the Puerto Ricans I grew around were always happy, even though they had little. It's something I'll never forget and always reminds myself to be happy no matter what the situation. In this picture are two of my three grandmothers. My biological one, Abuela, whom is my father's mom. I love Abuela a lot. She was always very sweet to me, literally. Whenever I go visit her, she would always give me candy and maybe $1 to buy some more candy. I must admit it probably wasn't good for me, but it's one of the ways in which she would show me she cared about me. Although she is still physically alive, she's unable to communicate or remember anybody due to the very advanced form of Alzheimer's. I'll always remember her for the sweet grandmother she is though. Also in this picture is my other grandmother, Oti. Although Oti is not biologically related to me, I consider her to be my grandmother. She basically raised me and would always take care and babysit me whenever my parents were unable to. I loved spending time at her house as a child and even later on. Oti was always very good to me and I love spending time with her. She's definitely one of the most special people God has put in my life and has a very special place in my heart. Unfortunately, she passed away a few years ago. I thank God for the time I had with her and will never forget her for the special person she was and still remains to be for me. In addition to my family, I have 2 adopted sisters. In this photo, Francesca, and in this one, Negrita. Francesca and Negrita are actual sisters to each other. My mom would always help their family out due to the poverty they had. Food on the table was not always a guarantee for these 2 girls, and both of their parents passed away while they were still young. They always loved coming over to my family's house and spending time with us. We ended up caring for them through the foster care system. Not only were they great sisters, but my mom also loved the great job they did babysitting. Today, they both live near us here in the US and regularly come visit on weekends and holidays. And of course, a lot more family. Puerto Rico is also the place where most of my friends live. This is Jesse. Jesse is one of my best friends. He's super fun to be around, loves to laugh. I always spend lots of time with him whenever I go to Puerto Rico to visit. This is Jovi. Jovi is Jesse's cousin and is also a good friend of mine. He loves to play video games and always beats me at them. Elliot is another friend of mine. He's super funny and seems to be the only one who can beat Jovi at video games. I spent a lot of time with these people as a child. I remember running throughout the whole neighborhood and playing tons of games with them. Tons of fun I'll never forget. This is my house in Canóvanas, Puerto Rico. We lived in a very mountainous part of Puerto Rico. Also, there were many trees in my neighborhood. I had more than one tree house. Those are always fun. If you look in the background of this picture, you can see the tropical rainforest known as a yunque. A yunque was located only about 5 miles from my house and had great rivers for me and my friends to swim in, which is, I guess, one of the perks of living close to a rainforest. Something a lot of people over here in the US can't say they have. Now, I can't possibly talk about Puerto Rico without talking about Puerto Rican pride. Puerto Ricans have immense pride in their country. They know that everywhere they go, they're representing a special culture and island. For myself, it's the most beautiful place in the world, full of friends and family, and that's why I'm proud of my country. I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world, and I thank God for all the years I had to live there. And of course, I couldn't forget my dogs. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope it gave you a little taste of the great island of enchantment, Puerto Rico.